Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a long trade here on the Russell. Just got filled long at 56.5. Let me get my stop in place really quick. Now, this trade, you can see I'm going in two contracts. This trade is a relatively big stop. The volatility today has been insane. I think the Russell's at like 240 something, 230 ticks on the daily range. So just a huge amount of volatility that we're seeing right now, and you can see it's already back down against me 21 ticks. So we've got our stop in place down here at 52.5. We're long at 56.5, and I'm looking at this in the sense that we broke below this candle's low and then immediately reversed right back up again. Now, I like the look of that in the sense of this is kind of consolidation, but it's more of kind of a wedge if you draw it around this way, and the wedge broke out down here and then failed right back up. And usually when that happens, you're going to see a continued move back up to the upside again. Now, the volatility that we're seeing right now will make this a little bit more aggressive. That should probably be said for the rest of the day. Anytime you see that much volume during the day, you got to be a little bit careful. Yesterday, I believe the S&P traded almost 4.5 million contracts. Crude oil's up in the 450,000, somewhere in there. Just huge volume that we're seeing come into the markets. So let me get my from my entry to my stop and then back up again. My first target's going to be at 60.5. Right here. My second target's going to be up at 64.5 up there, so we'll get those in place. Now you can see from being down 23 ticks to being up 8 or 9 ticks now in the matter of a couple seconds. So that's that volatility that we were talking about. So we do have to be careful and be cognizant of the fact that we're going to have to use bigger stops today. And because of that, we're not going to be able to trade 9, 10 contracts. We're going to have to trade 2 and hope that we can make about the same amount of profit on these bigger moves. So looking at my first target at 60.5, just because that's a 1-to-1 for my initial risk that I'm putting on. My second target, 64.5, just because that's 2-to-1 of my initial risk. Now, with this move up, it's not really the easiest place to look for that first target. That's why I'm just going 1-to-1. The second target could go up around here, around 68s or so, back just at that initial high of the day, back at 69.9. Now, the reason I say back up to those highs again is just because today does look like it might be a little bit more sideways. We've got the Globex highs over here coming at 69.9. We've come all the way down to here, but we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't broken new lows. We're starting to rotate back up to the highs again. There's just nothing telling us that this is going to continue the downside. It's almost more like a spike and ledge. It's just that spike and ledge happens to be about 230 ticks. So just big volume and volatility that we're seeing coming in. So again, filled long at 56.5, taking the first contract off at 60.5. That will lock in for us 40 ticks on that first one. And then looking at the second target, this one's kind of variable. I do like the idea of going back up to these highs at 69.9, but there again, that's kind of asking quite a bit. Now you're going almost 3-to-1, 4-to-1 on the move. So we can look up to those highs, and I'll actually bump it up there for right now. But we need to keep an eye on the overall move that we're seeing, and if the volume does want to actually stick with this. You can see we already got that first target made. Keep that in mind. We got this first target. We've already moved 40 ticks to the upside in gaining. So just to be safe, let's lock ourselves into a profitable position here. We're already up 50 ticks. Now, in this move up, the one thing that we do need to pay attention to is you typically don't want to go past a 100-tick move, just because that's usually when some profit taking comes in regardless. And a 100-tick move, that puts us all the way back down here at 1066 point. All right, let me get that in there really quick. Get that more of a pivot. So 1066.6 is a 100-tick target. So that's going to be it's going to have to be where we're going to gun for, just because, again, anytime you get a 100-tick move in any one parabolic direction, you're going to get some profit taking. If we measure the highs down to here, it's probably around 100 ticks. Yeah, it's 127. And you can see that's where some profit taking came in. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to fall farther. Again, the converse with this doesn't mean it's not going to go back up to these highs, but we have to be a little bit careful. And since we already only have 2 contracts on this trade, I'm not going to be too aggressive, basically. So I'm going to take my contract off at 100 ticks if it gets up there. We're already up 50 ticks, so it's not really asking a whole lot more from the market, that's for sure. So we're out at 40 ticks so far, 1 contract off, $400 on the trade. We've locked in what we'd like to get on a trade. Now we just have to wait and see if it wants to go higher. So we'll be back in a little bit and see if we can hit that 100 ticks. All right, we're back. We're getting really, really close. 96, 97 ticks or so, coming about 4 ticks away from our target at 66.6. Unfortunately, there's not really any place that we can lock our stop in at the moment because there isn't anything to work off of. The only thing that we can do is, since we have this reversal down here, we can lock our stop up at 61.5. Just, you know, in the sense that I don't want to see it come back, but we haven't really gotten close enough to really get aggressive on my stop. We're still 4 ticks away from that 100-tick move, but this overall move up, you know, as we get closer, you know, if we come 1 tick away and we start seeing it drop off, we're going to have to just lock our stop in, possibly take out at 94 or 90 ticks or something like that, and not want to give anything back here. You know, we're just seeing big blocks of volume coming in all morning, just especially right after the open. There was several hundred contracts floating all over the place. You know, 100 contracts to buy and then 300 to sell and then 400 to buy. It's gone kind of crazy. So we actually came 1 tick away. We wicked into that one area there. And we came a tick away. My stop is already locked in right now. My stop is sitting at 50 ticks up. So do we really want to give back half of the move? We're sitting up 90 ticks right now. We'll give it one more attempt. If this candle even starts to go red at all, I don't want to be sitting in this anymore. So I will be looking at probably underneath this previous candle's close, maybe around 33.5. We'll lock in a little bit more here. And again, the reason behind it is I just don't want to give any of this back. We've now come 1 tick away from our target, which is what we were talking about. We don't want to see this start coming back on us. So now our stop is locked in at 70 ticks. I'm okay with that. If it comes back, I'm willing to give back about 20 ticks, but I do not want to give back a full, 50 ticks back. There's no way. So 20 ticks isn't so bad. If we do get stopped out here, that'll be 70. Otherwise, we'll take out at 100. Getting some volume coming in. Oh, there we go. Got that 100 ticks filled. Wonderful. So we can just cancel that stop there. Don't want to mess around with that. Beautiful. So quick in, quick out. I mean, just huge volume today. You've got to be really careful on a day like today. It's going to get whippy. I mean, keep in mind, before the market even opened, the Russell moved 240 ticks, or 230, sorry. So the fact that we're already up to a 100-tick target now and rising, we've made 140 ticks with just 2 contracts in the span of 10 minutes. Okay, so, I mean, it's a beautiful trade, but you've got to kind of step back and look at that and say, well, it's a little bit aggressive today. So this will probably be just the trade for the day. I might just call it here. I don't want to really put anything else on the table in terms of risk. So 140 ticks up, that's going to be the trade. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.